First one is Wick Bodies by Wick VN Hilton. Okay, this one's easy. I already explained it in my other video. It's just change it. You just make it so you can. The whole purpose of it is to make the upper wicks and lower wicks a different color, and that's purely so that you can identify that all upper wicks they end in selling and all lower wicks end in buying, right? So that's just a simple one. You don't need to do it, but I think it's really useful. The wicks don't look pretty when you're zoomed out. They look fine, right? They look great, but when you zoom in, they get kind of fat and ugly. But whatever. I still think it's worth it. Anyway, so that one's that. The next one I have is the ICT 8:30 midnight and 8:30 a.m. open. So I'll just go ICT midnight. And it's the one by Alpha IC Trader. Okay, it's in all caps. There's only 4 that are going to come up anyway. So yeah, that one. And so we'll look at the settings on this, which is that I display the day divider. You don't have to. Like I said in my last video, it's my TradingView's messed up, so I have to set it an hour behind. But you have to set it from midnight to midnight 01, or if it's messed up like mine is, set it to 11 to 11:01. It'll start off like dashed or dotted, I think. I just make it a solid line because it's easier to see. And then I just make it a color. So I just make it a different color from this one so I can distinguish between them. Solid line. It's pretty simple, very basic. This one is highs and lows. This is by someone named Ether Matt, aka Accumulation Zone, and I forgot that he actually gave this to me because at one point I was subscribed to him on Patreon. That just stuck around with me. I don't subscribe to him anymore, but I still have that indicator. So I don't know what you would do for that, but previous day high, like any of these, like this one. Let's just look at this one. Previous day DWMHL. Okay, so what you could do is you could even look at previous weekly high, monthly high. I'm sure these are also relevant. I don't actually pay attention to those, but I would bet that they're actually even more powerful than daily. So this one's probably a better indicator anyway, and you would just play with the settings, make it the color you want. I guess this goes back 2 days. You can set. So this one's definitely a better one. I would use this one if I were you. This is fine. You don't need to subscribe or to anyone's Patreon or anything. So get this one, I guess, and just play around with that. Make sure it's the right colors for you. I actually didn't even look at what it appeared to be on the chart, but I'm sure it will be visible in fine, so no need to worry about that. This one is week and day opening gaps. So if you just type in NWOG, it'll pop up and it'll say weekly opening gap by Kryptonite. But when it shows up here, it'll actually be called week and day opening gap. So that's the one you want, right? Yep, and he's updated what it's called since I last applied it to my chart. So that's what it's going to be called. And wow, that is the settings are different, but you can see it's the same thing, and you can change them. You'll make them brighter. You don't want them to be 100%, but you make them. I would say like somewhere in the 20s or 30s is fine. I would set 10 opening gaps for weeks. Previous new day, you can do whatever you want, 10 or something, and just make sure that they're visible. And I don't know what this, consequent encroachment, that's what that stands for, I think. This will just check if it's like halfway through it, I'm assuming. Let's see. Yeah, so these are just the midpoint of an opening gap, which is not this is not completely necessary because consequent encroachment takes several forms. There's quarter, half, 3/4, full. The DR IDR, I have the subscribed one, so it's called Drive 1.0. So you'd have to pay for his Patreon to get this, but I think he doesn't sell the cheap tier that I subscribe to anymore, which was like $35 a month, and like the next lowest one is like $200 a month. So I mean, that data on the DR lens is extremely valuable, but I don't know that I would personally pay $200 a month for it unless I was already making a ton of money trading. But there is a DR IDR one. This is free. You just search up DR/IDR. It'll be by the master. It won't have the stats box here because this is a free version. You'll just apply it. Don't touch anything. Just leave it as it is, and you can just trade off that. I mean, you can. Well, let's see. Yeah, it automatically puts the standard deviations on. See these gray dotted lines? You could change the color of them to be like blue or whatever, like the paid one is. Yeah, so just use that, and that's it. That's it, guys. This is all you need to trade, and yeah, it does look a bit cluttered, but everything on here to me is useful and necessary and relevant, so I wouldn't put it on if it wasn't. I don't think I could put really anything else on this chart though.